friends, welcome to the Point. In this session, let's discuss about greenhouse effect and global warming. Basically, what is the meaning of greenhouse effect? The sun emits energy as heat radiation. Some radiations from the sun, they reach the earth's surface, and some are absorbed and some are re-radiated by the earth into the atmosphere. There is an energy balance between heat energy reaching the earth and the heat energy that is re-radiated into space. This energy balance, it decides the earth's surface temperature, and it is important to maintain the earth's surface temperature within a range in which life exists. Some gases accumulate excessively like carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, ozone, water vapor, and these are responsible for disturbing the energy balance in the earth. Fossil fuels, based on industry and man's lifestyle, they have resulted in unprecedented rise of these gases known as greenhouse gases, and this is because they act in the lower level of the atmosphere like the glass of a greenhouse. Greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, they allow near infrared rays from the sun to penetrate into the earth, but these gases do not allow the heat radiated by the heated earth to penetrate back into the space. Thus, it prevents the heat rays to escape into the outer space, which increases the surface temperature of the earth, and this increase in temperature is due to concentration of greenhouse gases, and it is known as greenhouse effect. Global warming. The greenhouse effect, it is not confined to a particular region, but it is impacted globally. If it is unchecked, if it is not taken proper care, accumulation of these gases from industry and agriculture, it changes the temperature and rainfall pattern and also the sea level of the earth. By realizing this potential danger, the United Nations Environment Program, it used the expression called global warming to alert the people about the danger. The slogan was given on the World Environment Day, June 5, 1989. Thus, the global warming refers to a slow gradual rise in the temperature of the earth due to emission of excess quantities of radiation trapping gases, also known as greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases. Global warming, it is a consequence of greenhouse effect. There are 5 gases which are mainly responsible for the greenhouse effect and the global warming: carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen oxide, chlorofluorocarbon, and water vapor. There are also some other gases that contribute to greenhouse effect and the global warming. They are sulfur dioxide and ozone. Let's discuss about some of the different gases which contribute to the greenhouse and global warming effect. Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, it is normally absorbed by 2 major sinks: plants which absorb carbon dioxide during the process of photosynthesis and the oceans. We produce more carbon dioxide at the rate faster than the sinks can absorb it, and therefore the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing day by day. The primary source of carbon dioxide is consumption of fossil fuels like coal, oil, petroleum, etc. The secondary source is oxidation of carbon compounds in marshes and forests by natural degradation. Manufacture of cement, it is another factor that contributes to increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Methane. Methane is known to trap heat 5 times more effectively than carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Methane, due to oxidation, it gives rise to carbon dioxide and water vapor, both of which are greenhouse gases. Chlorofluorocarbons. In short, it is called as CFC. Concentration of CFC, is rising at the rate of 5% per year. According to the estimation, CFCs are responsible for 15 to 20% of the global warming, and these gases, they are also responsible for ozone layer depletion. Chlorofluorocarbons, they are used in foam aerosols, solvents, air conditioners, refrigerants, etc. Nitrous oxide, it is a greenhouse gas. It is 230 times more efficient in global warming than carbon dioxide. Nitrous oxide is responsible for destruction of ozone layer. The concentration of nitrous oxide is rising at the rate of 0.3% per year, and it is responsible for at least 6% of the total global warming. Nitrous oxide is produced by burning of forest, grassland and other biomass. Other sources of nitrous oxide are inland water, oceans, natural soil and nitrogenous fertilizers are used in agriculture. Water vapor. Water vapor is responsible for producing greenhouse effect, and because of the rising global temperature, transpiration and evaporation increases water vapor concentration in the atmosphere, and this phenomena produces more global warming. Impact of greenhouse effect. First, climate change. As the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, greenhouse gases in the atmosphere rise in temperature. Global warming makes the ice melt, and it decreases in ice and snow surface will expose more dark surfaces of the earth, and as a result there is rise in temperature. Impact on forest due to global warming. Forests, they absorb carbon dioxide which would float in the atmosphere and adds to greenhouse effect. So an increase in temperature in the atmosphere will affect the distribution of the tree species. If there is a rapid climate change conditions and it becomes unsuitable for trees of temperate forests to complete one more stage of their life cycle. For example, pollen and seed development require minimum heat and they are sensitive to frost. Seedlings are particularly vulnerable to short-term drops, saplings to the presence or absence of sunlight, and mature trees to the availability of soil water during the growing season. And therefore, the tree population would lose their ability to complete their life cycle. Effects of global warming in agriculture. The global warming is likely to affect the following phenomena, which will ultimately affect the agro-ecosystem. Increase in temperature will increase evaporation. Cultivable areas will be enlarged. Soil water will become insufficient as there is an excessive evaporation and transpiration taking place. Water and soil temperature will rise. Sowing period will shorten. The incidence of insect pests, disease and weeds will become higher. The activities of microorganisms will increase. The deterioration of soil fertility will be quickened. Human disease. Direct effect of global warming, it results in several people being killed by the heat stroke or death by drowning. North India is known for deaths due to heat stroke in summer months. One of the biggest health threats foreseen, it is the influence of temperature and rainfall changes on the distribution of insects like mosquitoes, which spread diseases such as malaria, dengue and filariasis. Mostly tropical countries are victims of diseases like malaria and filariasis. Warmth and rainfall, they are likely to create favorable conditions for the insects, and viruses allow them to breed in large areas and live longer. Projections for the future. Increase in carbon dioxide. As a global warming is taken place due to the pollution by carbon dioxide, the concentration of the carbon dioxide emissions in the atmosphere in 1994 was 359 ppm parts per million. It is estimated that Carbon dioxide level up to 400 parts per million would increase the global warming by 1 degree Celsius. If the present trend were to continue, then the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere would reach up to 600 ppm by the year 2050. Increase in methane. Methane content in the atmosphere has been rising at the rate of 1 to 1.3% every year. Methane is a component of natural gas. Garbage dumps produce methane everywhere. Other sources of methane are leakage in course of mining, transport and use of coal and natural gas. Methane is produced by bacteria in rice fields and in the guts of cattle and termites, as well as from burning of biomass. Increase in nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide, that is emitted from agricultural ecosystem, it is produced by the activities of microorganisms present in the soil. Due to the process of denitrification, nitrate or nitrite nitrogen is reduced to gaseous nitrogen by soil microorganisms under anaerobic conditions. Even a small methane molecule survives for 12 longer years and CFCs last forever. Nitrous oxide is a greenhouse gas 30 and 200 times more potent than methane or carbon dioxide. Its emission not only depletes ozone but also reduces nitrogen content in the soil. So what are the measures should be taken? Emission of greenhouse gases, it can be controlled by reducing the emission of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and preparing for adapting to the changing situation in the future. Reducing greenhouse gases. Combustion of fossil fuel, it is a main cause for increasing the level of carbon dioxide in the air. We have to plan for alternative fuels such as solar energy, hydrogen or atomic energy, etc. in order to reduce the emission of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Deforestation must be checked and efforts should be taken to develop new forests by encouraging tree planting programs so that it helps to reduce carbon dioxide concentrations. The emission of nitrous oxide, it should be reduced by regulating the application of nitrogenous fertilizers. The developed countries should bear the financial responsibilities for implementation of programs which are aimed at controlling emissions of greenhouse gases. Adapting to new situation. We should think of ways for adapting to the changed situation of global warming. For example, if there is rise in the sea level, arrangements should be made for rehabilitation of people living in the low coastal areas. For the development of highly salt-resistant crop production on the saline lands, varieties may have developed biotechnologically to replace the existing ones. Thus, adjustment with the changed situation by changing the place of cultivation, time of sowing by making arrangements for proper irrigation, using fertilizers in conformity with the soil reactions and adoption of sound management practices may help the situation. That's all for the session. Thank you.